What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Impact. I am Alex, and tonight we are here with our modern FNM as we are every single Friday night at 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/Impact Gaming Center. If you are watching on YouTube after the fact, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and come on out to our Twitch streams. We have a lot of fun. But yeah, we have Jack on Gift Storm and Tim on Esper Satoru. So this Esper list is pretty awesome. I really enjoy it. But Jack has a really spicy, all white bordered version of Gift Storm. So I'm a big Gift Storm fan. So I said, hey, you're on round one tonight. We have a sleight of hand. So Jack will take a peek at the top two cards, put one in his hand, put one on bottom. Looks like he's got two lands, a fetch land and a fast land. Flipping through his cards, he will. Which land will he pick? But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We do appreciate it. We are live again from Impact Gaming Center in the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois. 49 Ludwig Drive. It is 7:20 as we are broadcasting right now. So if you're in the area, come on out. What's up, Chip Hunt? Oh, heck yeah, there is the stream. Yeah, we are streaming tonight. Absolutely. But yeah, I guess I should keep up with these life totals, eh? So 17 to 19. And it looks like Tim is going to pick out one of these lands here. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We have 4 rounds of modern action. Tim gonna get a swamp. And I think he's cycling the Troll of Khazad-dûl to go get another swamp. And that is a Watery Grave. That is I forget the art. I forget the name of the set from that art. I think it's maybe the Secret Lair. But, yeah. Alrighty. How does Tim? It is Purdy. I agree, Chip. Marsh Flats for Tim, and immediately fetching. Thank you, Jack, for keeping track of that life total. That was the last thing I told him before I headed to the booth. It's like if you guys could try to remember, that would be awesome. So Tim going to go get a Plains. Take notes for when you guys play. That's awesome. So we will persist. Ooh, okay. So this is going to bring the troll back. And he's in there like swimwear. He's got himself a 6/5. Not too shabby. Of course, Jack's deck, if you're familiar, is definitely good at kind of winning out of nowhere. So we'll see. He looks like he's got a couple rituals. He's got a mana dork. Jack gonna go down to 16 off the fetch. So he's got some things happening in his hand. He has an Electromancer. He's gonna get an island, a beautiful Zendikar island. White bordered, I love it. Let me know in the comments, or if you're live in chat, let me know. Are you a fan of white bordered? I mean, most people are not. but I definitely am. I don't know. I think as much tilt advantage as you can get on your opponent, that's usually a pretty good thing. Light border is fine. You like both? I like both. I like full art or extended border. Or white border, obviously. All right. Tim, gonna take a draw step. Jack gonna update the life total. Jack wants you to get into painting cards. Oh wow, that's cool. Are you an artiste? I've always thought about doing that. I like to draw and sketch, but I don't know. I'm not really a great painter. So an attack down to 11. Satoru gonna enter the battlefield. He will cast him though, so he will not get to draw a card. Unfortunate. All right, and there is Satoru for those that don't know. We're gonna grief. Revealing. Ooh, wow. This was a great grief here. He is going to be able to pick whatever he wants here. And Jack kind of was doing it here. After the solitude and the grief. Tim gonna draw some cards off those, obviously. But I think I would be taking gifts here. I think I would be taking gifts. Because he's got the mana. Yeah, I would take gifts if I were Tim, but let's see what he wants to do. So Jack should have gained 2 life off of the solitude. And he does take, so Tim does take the gifts ungiven. And untap. And he draws a Steam Vents for turn. Probably gonna lead with the sleight of hand. Gifts ungiven. Oh wow, so 2 great cards here. Gifts ungiven and Past in Flames. You can take the gifts ungiven, put Past in Flames, because you're gonna go get Past in Flames off of your gifts anyway. So yeah, that seems fine. Probably has he doesn't really have the mana to go for it here. Interesting, he didn't play the Steam Vents there. I would have probably played the Steam Vents tapped. Because at this point, he cannot cast Gifts Ungiven. He can generate 4 mana, but unfortunately, it would all be red. Tim gonna attack with the Troll. Down to 6. So Jack's gonna have to figure something out on his turn. If he can draw a mana reducer? Oh, here's another grief. So Tim will draw a card off the Satoru, because that's entering the battlefield without paying any mana. He's going to rip this Gifts Ungiven, I would imagine. There's no reason not to. Because if Jack, like I said, draws a mana reducer, he can pretty much just win on the spot. So, yeah, we'll take the Gifts Ungiven and pass back. It's going to be real hard for Jack to get through here. It is possible. 3-man, not what you wanted to draw there if you're Jack. Life totals are evening out. Let's go, Jackie, says Chip Hunt. All right, pass back. Persist. Oh, yeah, well, we will remand that. Back to your hand. Big problem with remand these days. There's a Stim Flames. Yeah, and just an attack. I mean, Jack, you know, gonna make you actually turn your dude sideways and win the game. I respect it, but game one is gonna go to Tim with Esper Satoru over Gift Storm. We will start game two here momentarily. These players gonna sideboard. And we will be starting game two here momentarily. I guess we should send it up to the box, the booth. What's up, everybody? I am Les Alex. I make content, so if you want to go subscribe to me on YouTube, you definitely do. I make a lot of combo/control content, so go check me out over there. Otherwise, though, subscribe to IGC on all the places. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and we did just become affiliates on Twitch, so you can use some of those Bezos bucks to help support the content here. We stream every single Friday at 7 p.m. But if you're in the area, if you're in the Metro East or St. Louis area, we're about 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis, so come on out. We close at midnight tonight, so definitely have time to get some games in. We've probably got, I don't know, there's so many people here, probably 80 people here. We have a party, maybe even more than that. Like, we have a party of about 30 people right now in one of our, actually the room that's right there. So if you hear happy birthday or just the sound of people having fun, it's probably that. Or maybe it's a random commander game. Jack has a chance, lurking quietly for a bit. Oh no, you're good, Chip Hund. Yeah, the turnout tonight has been insane. I think we have 17 in the modern portion. And then we have, I mean, like 40 people for Commander, Casual Commander. We do Casual Commander here at Impact on Wednesdays and Fridays. We have CEDH every week on Thursdays. I arrived to cheer on Jack. Right on, Moongrown. But, yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. We do appreciate it greatly. Like I said, we stream every single Wednesday. We're going to be adding some other kind of content, some other games to our repertoire on YouTube. So get ready for that. Some Lorcana action coming toward ya, to ya. So that should be pretty fun. Tim's still finishing up his sideboard cards. Let's go back down there, though, real quick. Yeah, you definitely need, Moongrown, you definitely need to come up if you're in the area. We have 20,000 square feet. You can kind of see behind Tim. Not so much behind Jack. It really doesn't do the space much. Doesn't do this space any services, but you can see behind Tim how deep, how big the space is. So we've got tons of space to come up and play, even with probably 50 or 60 Magic players right now. There's still open tables, as you can see behind Tim. There's still open tables. Obviously behind Jack, he's got some folks. I think they're playing D&D. Might be playing Commander. I don't know. Ton of people playing a ton of games, having a ton of fun. That's what Impact's all about. But we will update these life totals real quick. But the Troll of Khazad-dûl, I think is what the name of that card is, was a very fast clock. That plus Grief, picking apart Jack's hand, was enough to get the job done in game one. But Jack will be on the play in game two. And usually when Gift Storm is on the play, it is quite a different story. But we shall see. Both players draw on their opening 7. And hopefully, both players keep. Because mulligans stink for commentary. Alrighty. Looks like Tim's keeping. Don't know if he's decided yet, but he's got a lot of lands, it looks like. Maybe 3 or 4. Oh, Tim gonna mulligan. Looks like Jack's gonna keep. So I got those flip-flopped. But Tim gonna take a mulligan here. Game 2, Tim up a game with Esper Satoru. Up a game on Gift Storm. I asked Jack, what you playing tonight? He said Gift Storm. I was like, is it the white border one? He's like, yep. I'm like, well, you're on feature match round 1. Alrighty. Hopefully Tim has a better 6. But yeah, we are 2 subscribers away from unlocking some more emotes. 2 subscribers away from 20 on Twitch. So that would be awesome. If we could hit that tonight, that would be incredible. But Tim, on a mulligan, on the draw. Now, obviously, you get a couple good time griefs. It's hard. It's really hard for the Gift Storm to come back. It is possible, but obviously Thoughtseize effects really good against Gift Storm. All right. Tim shaking his head. It's really difficult for Jack to want to mulligan. He's got a surgical extraction. That's pretty dope. And will potentially be. Oh wow, is Tim on a mulligan of 5? I did not know that. Okie doke. Anyway, it's difficult for Jack to want to mulligan. Obviously, you never want to mulligan, but especially against a deck that plays Thoughtseize style effects. You really just want to keep all your cards. Because if you mulligan and then get Thoughtseized, you're in a bind. I believe that's a Flooded Strand that Tim just played. Spire Bluff Canal for Jack. Tim gonna go to 19 off the crack of the fetch land. He's going to grab an Undercity Sewers, the new-ish surveil land. Oh, somebody hit one of the... Sorry about that. Somebody hit one of the posts to get that shaky cam. We apologize for that. And an Ephemerate in Tim's hand. Hallowed Fountain. We're gonna... There's a Satoru. And they're not keeping track of life total, unfortunately. Preordain. Wow, Jack's hand's coming together pretty well here. He can Gifts Ungiven here at the end step for Tim, if he so chooses. But I believe my life total, the one that we have, is the correct life total. Just an attack here from Satoru. Thank you, Jack. Down to 18 goes Jack. Don't know where we're at in the turn cycle, but Tim gonna take a think. End of the turn. It's got to be end of the turn. Otherwise, I don't think Jack would be casting a ritual here. Ritual? Tim shakes his head yes. And he's adding a blue to his mana pool. And he's casting Gifts Ungiven. And he's targeting Tim. He says, does this resolve? Yes, it does. Okay, it is go time, I think, here for Jack. So let's see what he elects to pick. He's going to go for the Bears, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. He could get the Bears. He could try and do it hard style by getting just a basic package here. Grape Shot to mow the lawn, potentially. I don't hate it. So we could go Ritual Manamorphose Grape Shot. He's going to go Ritual Manamorphose. Oh, okay. So that's just a basic package of Ritual Manamorphose Past in Flames. This is the pretty straightforward you're dead next turn pile. Because typically when you choose this pile, your opponent really doesn't have a choice. Meaning, no matter what, you're going to have options to cast everything. That's not always true, obviously, but he could choke him on... Choking him on mana would actually probably be best. So I might let Jack... Because he doesn't have a bear, I might let Jack keep... If I were in Tim's seat, let him keep... Oh, is he letting him keep the rituals? I would have done the opposite. I would have had the piles the same, but done the opposite. All right. Well. Let's see what Jack draws. Preordain the draw step. He's got 2 preordains and a ritual. So preordain. Let's scry 2. There's a bear. And there's Manamorphose. Probably want both of those, I would imagine. He has a land in hand. He has no way... I don't believe he... Oh, he's got 2 rituals. Jack has 2 rituals in hand, so he could potentially go off here. He will be real tight on blue mana. Begs the question, do you wait a turn? Do you leave yourself open to removal? This is interesting. I will be very interested here to see how Jack plays this. I would probably... And he could also just take the... He could draw either one of these and just not play the bear. The Goblin Electromancer? Yeah. Who's going to bottom the... Okay. Yeah. I like this, actually. Waiting a turn and then just playing the Electromancer potentially next turn. Uh-oh. Casting Solitude, Ephemerating. Okay. So he's just drawing a couple cards here, essentially. Solitude has no legal targets. Ooh, Tim drew a Grief, though, so If he has another black card in his hand, that's going to be really good. Manamorphose, and I didn't see the second card. Did not see the second card. Would likely want the Manamorphose. He's going to bottom both. Okay, I didn't see the second card, but... Alright, that was a grape shot, I believe. Pass back. Ooh, oh, I thought he had a second... I thought he had another land. It was a grape shot. Alright, well... Does Tim have another black card to cast this grief? That's the question, because if he does... he can pick off the Electromancer. It's going to be pretty tight for Jack to be able to go off next turn with no bear. And only one ritual. Or he's got 2 rituals. Even still, it'll be pretty tight with no bear. He's going to ephemerate Satoru to draw a card, essentially. Not wanting to ephemerate the Solitude, because he wants to be able to attack with that. Well, ephemerate just... hold on. Alrighty, yeah. That Satoru had summoning sickness. So, that's what I was saying. That why you would want to ephemerate it instead of the creature with more power and lifelink. So, and here is the grief we were talking about. I mean, if I'm Tim, I'm taking that bear. For sure. Because everything else is a duplicate. Literally everything else is a duplicate. 2 rituals, 2 grape shots. He's going to take a ritual. Okay. Ephemerate grief. Oh my goodness. So trigger the Satoru, draw a card. This deck is so efficient. This deck last week in the hands of Ben was in the finals. And he's just going to... okay. I mean, if you got 2 of them, yeah, just take the rituals. Don't care, but... didn't see the second ephemerate there. So that means obviously he gets to keep that grief on the table. Because when it blinks back in, it doesn't read that it was ever evoked. And I mean, Tim's just carving up Jack's hand. All match, really. So. Yeah, I mean, Jack just left with pretty much a desolate hand at this point. I get the... yeah. Oh, wait, there's more. Holy moly. Another grief. 3 griefs in 1 turn. Not fair. Yep, trigger Satoru, draw a card. I mean, Tim just running away. And there, finally, he takes the card I thought was going to get taken first before I realized that we had a million griefs this turn. Watery Grave for Tim. Pass. After he just wrecked Jack's entire hand. Okay, I mean, that is a card that you won. He drew a ritual. So he can storm... it's just like, he's going to mow the... he could potentially mow the lawn here. But man, in a rough spot for sure. Jack is in a rough spot here. Flicking those grape shots around like he wants to do. Because, I mean, he could play... He could play both the surgicals. That's storm count 2. And then you're only dealing 3 damage. It's like, yeah, he's in a rough spot. Like, I think last turn, Jack was, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I'll have to ask him. Was he considering grape shotting the Satoru? Because he could have. There was a point where he preordained, and then he could have grape shotted the Satoru. Tim drew a lot of cards off that Satoru last turn. So we're gonna go ahead and Desperate Ritual. We'll add 3 red to the mana pool. We're gonna Grape Shot. Storm count 2. 2 to your Grief. Jack doesn't look happy to be doing that, but I mean, I think I like this play. We're gonna Surgical, lose 2 life. Jack loses 2 life. And are we hitting Grief? Don't know what other valuable targets are in Tim's hand, or graveyard rather, but I would be interested in that potentially. But so, oh my gosh, Teferi, another Ephemerate, and a Sword of Feast and Famine. Very strong hand for Tim. Jack gonna look through his deck, going to exile these Griefs. Cauldron complete. There's another Grief. I'm sure he's got 4. Persist. Stoneforge Mystic. Tidebinder Tashini's Tidebinder. Just kind of going through it to see all of Tim's options left in his library. Yeah, oh, sorry, Chip. I did not see that comment, but ooh is a proper response. Because yeah, that last turn, Tim's last turn was absolutely brutal for Jack. Only just posted it, yeah. Yeah, that last turn for Tim was very good for Tim. Yeah. It goes back to the Jack's previous turn, though. He had an opportunity to kill the Satoru, and I don't know how much of a difference it would have made, but Tim drew like almost, it was either 3 or 4 cards on his last turn. It's a lot of cards. And maybe Tim wouldn't have been able to carve up Jack's hand. I don't know exactly what was in Tim's hand before his last turn, but Satoru drawing, I think it was 3 extra cards on Tim's last turn. Might have been the difference here. So Ephemerate, be gone. Picking the one out of his hand. But this Teferi is going to resolve. Jack's going to take 5 and go to 6. Grape Shot. Oh, okay. I completely forgot that he had mana in his mana pool still. So scratch that. He clears the board, and we are kind of back at square one here. Jack doing a good job of keeping his composure. Not getting riled by the triple grief turn. That was rough. I think Tim drew a Plains. I think the play here is Plains, Teferi, Uptick, probably. Or maybe down tick. Probably down tick. But we'll see. Just up ticks. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, either way. Now Jack is playing the try and rebuild my hand. Okay, here's a sleight of hand. Gifts ungiven and preordain. You like both of them? Obviously, gifts more instrumental to your game plan. So rough getting hit with that many griefs at once. He's a trooper. Yeah, yeah. I would certainly be rattled. I'm pretty good at keeping my composure and not you know, Magic's a hard game. You get unlucky sometimes, and your opponent gets lucky sometimes. But that would still rattle me a little bit, I think. Shadowy Backstreet. Gonna put Teferi into the bin. No reason not to cast this Sword of Feast and Famine. Jack knows about it. He knows it's the only card in Tim's hand. I imagine Tim will cast it. Yeah. Sword of Feast and Famine. Thumbs up from Jack. Gonna bounce it back to his hand. Interesting, he bounced it. He doesn't have to I wonder if Tim... I don't know if Tim might not know. You don't have to target anything. The way that Teferi reads is it's up to one target creature, artifact, or enchantment, I believe. Non-land permanent? It doesn't say non-land permanent. What the heck does this card do? One of my favorite cards. Return up to one target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Then draw a card. Yeah. Up to, though. Yeah. Oh, wow. Hold on. What the heck? We got a Birdman coming in hot with the gifted subs. And that puts us over 20. Holy smokes. Birdman. Hey, congratulations to Omniscient Streaming, J Shake 55, Mandu Power, Chip Hund, and Hibachi 425. Congrats on your new subscriptions. Thank you, Birdman. We appreciate you. Absolutely. All right, so Jack gonna fetch down to 10. I'll grab a Steam Vents. Yeah, yeah, use those emotes. And use them in other people's chat as well. Spread the good word. Yeah, the spinning one's great. All right, back to Jack. Manamorphose, that's a good one. That's a good one. We're just gonna hard cast this. No funny business. We know you can't cast Subtlety. And it'll resolve. It will resolve. Ritual. Noxious Revival. Don't know what the other two are. Jack deciding. Is that Electromancer? Yep, Electromancer, Baral. Yeah, okay, so he's just getting a bear. No matter what is given to Tim here, Jack is getting a bear next turn, because he can... No matter how Tim separates these piles, whether he puts both bears into the graveyard, I would give him both bears. He's getting them regardless. Don't give him the... Yeah, there you go. That's the piles I would put. And I would give him the bears. Baral and Electromancer. Yep. I agree with him on that one. All right, Jack, doing a good job. You know, that's the thing about this Gift Storm deck. It is very resilient. As long as you can mow the lawn, aka gifts or grape shot your opponent's creatures down, especially against a deck like Esper Satoru, where they're 2-for-1ing themselves pretty much every turn in the early turns. Persist. All right, this is going to bring back Satoru. Maybe Satoru. Get your engine going. Yep, and that can be sorted up. That'll have a -1 counter on it when it comes back. So Tim does have a clock. So we can attack. Jack probably discards one of his bears. Not sure what we're... I'm not sure the confusion here. So Adrian right there throwing his hands up like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure. Anybody know why Tim wouldn't be able to bring back Satoru? Let me know. Tim's life total does not matter, because once Jack starts storming off, unless Tim can gain infinity billion life, he's not going to be able to gain enough life to get out of range of grape shot. So down to 19 goes Tim. The first life change we've had in several turns. On Tim's side, at least. All right. Ooh. Gonna suit up. Gonna sword up this Solitude. It's a 4/4. Pro green, pro green, pro black, and whenever it deals damage to an opponent, they discard a card, and you untap all your lands. One of the best swords they've ever printed. So down to, I think it's down to 6 if I'm reading life totals properly. Up to 23 because it has lifelink. And Teferi's gonna bounce. Oh, there's a Cauldron complete. Interesting. He bounced the... He didn't quite have lethal, right? 4. Oh, he did have lethal. If he would have... So if Tim would have cast the other Solitude at Jack's instep, he would have had lethal, because the 4/4 Solitude that's sorted up plus the 3/2, or yeah, 3 power plus 4 power, more than Jack's life total. Interesting. All right, I think it's go time here, Jack. So we can Baral. Oh, he's just gonna pass. Jack is very patient. I will say that. Jack is incredibly patient. Sorting up. This is a 5-5. Dothy Voidwalker. Ugh. Yep. Yeah, so tense. I agree. There's Dothy Voidwalker. So he's not going to have any more cards to work with in his graveyard as long as Dothy Voidwalker's on the battlefield because they will get exiled. But he can play with his graveyard currently. That is time in the round, and they do not have an extension. So either this will be a draw, or Tim is going to win this match 1-0. Oh, yeah. That's going to exile. He can, in response... well, it's over now. It's done now, but in response, Jack could have cast another Metamorphose. He got the discount from it. Draws an island. Not what you want to draw here. Is that another Baral? Jack is at 1, by the way. Looking at the lone Baral. I don't know how much mana is in his pool currently. Says go. Jack, not one to scoop. I respect it. Yeah, but this will be it. Nice handshake. Tim's going to take it down with Esper Satoru over Jack and his Gift Storm deck. I gotcha. Alrighty, yeah, he had to pitch the Morphos to the sword. That makes sense. So yeah, this Esper Satoru deck though is very good. It was in the finals last week here at Impact, and off to a great start here this week. A little bit different of a build is what we saw Ben on last week, but yeah, and thanks everybody for hanging out with us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to be coming out with more content, obviously. You should probably see a video popping up at this point. If you're watching live on Twitch, make sure to hang out with us. We got 3 more rounds of live Modern action. I'm Les Alex. I make content on the internet. If you want to subscribe to me on YouTube, go for it. I play combo and control decks a lot in Pioneer and in Modern. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Chip Hurd, Omniscient Streaming, and hey, shout out Birdman for those gifted subs. But we will be right back. Like I said, we just finished time in this first round, and I'm sure there's probably not many matches going on currently, so we'll be able to flip this tournament or this round over pretty quickly. We will be right back on this side, on the other side of this quick commercial break. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.